Good morning, students. Uh, Today we are going to continue with our chapter number 4, in which we were studying about the evolution of transport and communication. Now, in this chapter, we had previously studied in our previous online class that how transport system evolved, how people from the earlier time, how they changed themselves or developed themselves to bring about various different discoveries which brought a lot of changes into our lives. Here we studied about the importance of wheels, where we came to know as to how wheels brought about a revolution in the transport system of earlier times as well as in the modern times. What is this importance? Now, during this last class we had also studied that how sailors or voyagers traveled from one place of the country to the another and brought about a lot of discoveries like Vasco da Gama, Ferdinand, Christopher Columbus, and how they discovered various different places and sea routes connecting from one country to the another country or one continent to the another continent, which played a very important role in bringing about trade relationship, exchange of culture, inhabitation of a new place by people, and building up into a new state as a whole. Now, continuing with that, we are going to study about individually the modern system of transport. That is, what are the different ways of transport that we use in our present time and how they are important in different ways of their own. Now, here we have to remember that transport system has various different types, or it is categorized in different ways. Like for example, land transport is there, air transport is there, then water or sea transport is there, which are used in different ways and for different purposes. Now, startingly, we are going to study about what does it mean by land transport. Now, mostly it is seen that two important ways of land transport are there. One is roadways and the second one is railways. And both play a very important role in their own dimensions. Now, land transport are those transports most probably which are roads, mostly where roads are used, or a pitched kind of place or a constructed area is there where most probably trucks, buses, heavy vehicles, they move, connecting one place to the another place. And there are various different types of road transport also. Some carry passengers, some carry loads, and in modern times you see huge or big amount of transport system that are being constructed in different places where transport system is variably found in modern times, most probably in various different types. Similarly, railways are also there. Now, railways also play a very important role, as we know that India is considered as one of the largest railway networking country in the whole world, and it carries a lot of passengers in one go. So, and it is one of the most cheapest mode of transportation, and it connects a very long distance, which most probably has a different path of traveling. Those are known as railway tracks. It is a metallic form of road that runs on a wheel. Most of us have seen trains, how they move. So trains play a very important role, and in this categorization also trains are of two different important types. One is public transport, and one is for locomotives or for carrying goods, heavy goods. Now, compared to road transport, rail or train transports are most efficient. Why? Because most probably there are various different reasons for it. Now, road transport where buses, trucks, or highly equipped vehicles are there, but there are limited number of areas or place where in one time where people can travel. But compared to that, if you see rails are of such kind of communicative system where most probably thousands of people they travel in one particular train, and there are a lot of trains which continuously move from one place to another, connecting people from one place to another to their destination. And the same way, they are very much important in regarding to carrying goods, because very heavy load of goods are being carried in trains. So trains play a very important role in our lives, as we have seen. The next is about the air transport. Now, air transport, we all know there are various different type of mechanisms or machines that are used for carrying people through airways from one place to another, which are known as helicopters and aeroplanes, mostly used by passengers or people. And in same dimension, it is considered as one of the costliest form of mode of transportation, where limited amount of people can afford to travel from one place to another, which is fastest, which takes a very less period of time to get people traveling from one place and reaching to the destination to the other. So in this regard, there are various different modes or types of air transport, but they are used differently. For general public, most probably aeroplanes are used for connecting them from one place to another. Then helicopters are used very limitedly, whereas some of them have private helicopters by private individual who are rich. And other way are the armed forces. They have their own jets, we have seen, which are used most probably for defense purposes or for the safety or security of our own country. The next is about the water transport. Like water transport are those kind of transports which are run not on land but on sea or a river or such kind of water bodies which are most probably important to be or which are large in size. Now, in this regard, there are very different type of sea transport or water transport systems. Like ships are used, cruisers are used. Then you have locomotive ships which carry goods also from one place to another through water system, and these are considered to be one of the modes of transport which were also earlier used by the early people, which we have discussed in a previous chapter, how water helped them to get transported from one place to another. There are small ships, boats, okay, and steamers. So there are various different modes or types of transport system which are used in waterways for connecting one place to another. Now, in this regard, there are two classifications of water transport. One is inland water and one is outland. Now, inland water system means those water bodies which are within the territorial boundaries or within the land formations, where like big rivers are there, like you can consider Ganga, Brahmaputra, where being large in size, where people, if they cross through waterways, they need ships or steamers or boats, small boats. So those are inland transport system in water. Outland water transport is those which connects through the sea routes, connecting from one sea to the another or within the sea areas of its own territorial boundary of a country, where large ships are being used, and people, they are carried from one place to another through ships also. So these are some of the three important modes most probably used by modern system of transport. Now there are also various different transport systems that are being used in modern times. Now some of them we can see in our modern times. E-rickshaws. E-rickshaws are considered to be those mode of transportation where it is run by battery system. Now there are various different vehicles also, like scooters, bikes. Now it is modified in such a form that they are run in electrical system or in batteries, where it is charged for the whole day and it is run, which is most probably eco-friendly, and it pollutes the air less, or in on a base on consideration it is very minimal pollution system, and it is safer for the environment also. And the next is about monorails. We have seen trams, monorails. Most probably trams and monorails are different. Trams are, if you go to Kolkata, you will find on roads also there are rails, small rails that are been made, which connects inside the city area. So those are trams. Monorails are those which connects places within the city. That is the railway system, intercity railway system that they have inside the city, which connects from one part of the city to the another part. That is called monorails, and most probably you will find these monorails available in most of the important and big cities like Mumbai, Chennai, Kolkata, Delhi, Bangalore. All those cities will have monorails that connect one place of the cities to the another place of the cities, which make traveling, because why it is so, because cities are highly populated and lot of work goes on, so people, they rush from one place to another, reaching on time. They have to be punctual, they have to be on time, and it takes time to travel, most probably from one part of the city to the another part of the city. So railway system makes easier for them to get connected within the city area faster. Now in this regard, we also should be remembering that how did this existence came of, or the changes that we have seen, or discoveries which helps us in modern times. It was all because of the earlier developments or discoveries or findings that were done by the early humans, by their own innovations, by their own observations, experiments, which brought these changes. Now in this regard, if you see railway system in India, which was not prevailing most probably before 1920s or 30s, which came late during that period. Now initially it was seen that a new mode of transport was evolved, that was known as earlier it was known as steam engines. Now steam engines were developed, and we few of us might be knowing that steam engine was developed by no other than James Watt, who discovered this modern machinery, or the earlier machinery known as steam engine, which was run through heat or coal, using the coal, or that we call is that koila. And through that burning of coal, heat was produced and the steam machines were run, and that is how the evolution or the discovery of railway system started, where it initially started with smaller limitations. Then as the development went across, it developed into a more equipped or more advanced form or modernized form of railway system that we experience now in modern times, where we have trains which move really very fast, connecting from one place to another, which are known as to be a bullet trains. In this regard also, if you talk about the water system, the water system also was most probably prevalent during the earlier times, where mostly people used to travel walking from one place to another, cover places by walking from one place to another. Later on, when they discovered something about wheel, then they brought about a new cart system, where they used animals that we studied earlier in our early chapter, that how they traveled from one place to another. This gave a changing effect into the lives of people, where they were able to discover various different things in the coming advanced time, modern times. And now presently we see vehicles of different times, modernized time, which most of the things are automatic, most of the things have better safetier mode of operations that prevails during the modern or today's time. Now in this regard, electricity also played a very important role that we see in transport system. As I just now told about the existence of e-rickshaws that runs on electricity. There are railway system which runs on electricity or electrical rain, which saves most probably the energies that are there, and it has made our travel system or transport system, or it has given a new dimension to the whole transport system in the modern times. Now the next that we are going to learn is about the evolution of communication. Now before that, we have to understand what is the meaning of communication. Now communication is sharing ideas, thought, information from one end to the another end, or from one person to the another person. And in that regard, there are various different methods or systems where communication system evolved. Now earlier it was seen in the earlier times that we have learned that people did not know about languages. People did not even know how